All right, shalom, shalom. It's your brother Chaashaqahla coming back at you with another lesson, giving all glory, honor, and praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachak Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. Today's lesson is going to be about Russia, okay? And we're going to get into Revelation, the 20th chapter, okay? So without further ado, this is an article. I was just looking around, usually every morning I just, type in something random but pertaining to prophecy and see what news pops up for it. All right. And I just go into the toolbar in Google and click on, past hour, past week, past month. I just typed in I clicked on past month to see what's been going on with Russia's war efforts in the last month. So this article came up, and it came out in November 20th, 2018. So going a month or so ago. But it says Pentagon. It says because this is Pentagon reporting. It says Russian S-300 missiles in Syria won't affect U.S. operations. Now the Russian S-300, that's a missile defense system, okay? And they have their newest one called the S-400, okay? They've been giving those out to Iran and China and things of that nature and putting them on the east side of Syria. So I'm going to go ahead and read this, okay? It says Russia S-300 air defense systems in Syria have no impact on the United States operation in the country, U.S. Department of Defense, or the DoD. Spokesman Eric Pahan has said, according to Sputnik. Okay, so that goes to show you Americans, United States of America's pride, and saying, man, whatever, move your systems over there, it ain't gonna affect us. And you can lightweight believe that because America has technology that supersedes a lot of these countries' technology. Okay, and at the end of the day, when you go into Habakkuk, the second chapter, they increase, they're greedy. They increase what's not theirs, loosely paraphrasing. Okay, so they're going to go up in there anyway, no matter what you got. Okay, they're going to bombard and bum rush their way in there. Okay, it says not on our operations. All right, it says Pahan said on Monday, November 19th, refereeing the impact of Russia's S-300 air defense systems in Syria. Pahan cautioned that adding more weapon systems in Syria could only endanger multiple militaries operating in the area and cause potential danger to civilian aircraft transitioning the area. Now that's bullshit, all right? Because America is known for blatantly killing innocent, let me put the quotation, innocent civilian lives, okay? Because they just bomb wherever and whoever, okay? Killing 70 civilians for no reason and to just kill one insurgent, okay? All right, so it says any additional arms sent into Syria only serves to escalate the situation at this point. No, the only thing that's escalating the situation at this point is America being in Syria when they have no, pretty much they don't have a reason to be there. That's what's escalating the situation over there in Syria, but that's all according to prophecy, okay? It says, Pahan said, we need to be having diplomatic discussions to end the conflict in eastern Syria, and we need to be supporting the Geneva-led process to come to the resolution that conflict by adding more armaments and systems that only complicates the situation at this point. Again, the only thing that's complicating the situation at the point is you still lingering in Syria when you have no authority over there. Who has authority over there? Russia does, okay? Russia does. That's why they're putting their systems over there. It says we need to be supporting it's Salakia. It says we need to be having diplomatic discussions. Nobody wants to talk with the devils in America. They're done. They're mad. Okay, and we're gonna get that too in Jeremiah, the 51st chapter. Okay, It says Pahan reiterated the mission of the United States in Syria remains unchanged. We remain focused on the defeat of ISIS, said Pahan said. Now we all understand that ISIS was created by America. All right, there's nothing new about that. Russia already exposed America for ISIS and Al Qaeda and Taliban. All right, it was all CIA, whatever made. It was American made. Uh, uh, what is that? Not militia, not military, but it was all American made, man. Okay, mercenaries. Okay, it says we remain focused in the defeat of our own mercenaries. That's what because those mercenaries are put there in those countries to wreak havoc. So it gives America a reason to step in and do what they need to do. Okay, so without further ado, all right, we're going to get Revelation chapter 20, and we're going to start at verse 7. It says, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. Okay? It says, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog. All right? Because we're dealing with who right now? We're dealing with Russia. We're dealing with Russia and America. All right? We're dealing with Russia and America. It says, shall go out and deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. Who has gone in the four quarters of the earth and deceived all these nations? America has. That's why he says this right here. We need to be having diplomatic discussions. No, he just wants to use the Gadites, or the so-called Native Americans, called the white man a fork-tongued devil. Okay, that's all he's trying to use right now is his fork-tongued, devilish words, and that's how he went and he has deceived these other nations and still is deceiving, even though the other nations are waking up to his bullshit. Even though it's funny, Esau is waking up to his own bullshit because Russia is not. He's like, man, forget you Americans, okay? Which the United States, the white people over here, the Edomites over here, yeah, I mean, yeah, the white people over here are Edomites too. They might just be from another duke, the duke of this, duke of that. When you read in Genesis the 30, I don't want to say the 36th chapter about the dukes of Edom, okay? There just might be different dukes of Edom going back and forth at each other, okay? It says Gog and Magog, okay? We understand Gog and Magog, which we're going to get into that as well in Ezekiel the 38th and 39th chapter, okay? I'm just going to hold it on deck just in case. All right, it says to gather them together to the battle. That's right. It says gather them together to the battle. All right, let me get a precept real quick. And I'm just going to apply this precept, not going to break it down fully. All right, so this is Revelation chapter 16 and 14. It says, for they are the spirits of devils working miracles which go forth unto the kings of the earth in the whole world. That's right. It says, go forth to the kings of the earth in the whole world. All right. It has a spirit of devils. All right. The so-called white man working miracles with his RFID chip. All right. It says, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world. All right. Let's see what that world is. That world there is oikomini. So everybody. All right. And it says the inhabited earth. Okay, so the entire world he's going to go and deceive. It says to gather them to the battle of the great day of Yahweh Almighty. Okay, that's what he's trying to do with Gog and Magog, which is the Russians. Okay, because when you look at Gog and Magog, ancient map of Gog and Magog is over there in Russia. So we know Gog and Magog is speaking about Russia. All right, let's see. I'm going to show you. All right. So Gog and Magog. All right. Let's do this. It says Gog, and this would be Gog. This would be Magog. Okay. This is a better, and the scriptures do talk about Meshach and Tubal. Okay. But this is Gog and Magog. So we understand that this is Russia. So the scriptures are speaking about Russia when it says Gog and Magog. Simple as that. All right. It also speaks about Meshach and Tubal. All right, when you read the scriptures, you got to understand geography as well. Okay, and we're gonna get into it right here because it says Meshach and Tubal. All right, it's speaking about Russia. All right. Oh, but let me finish off Revelation 16 and 14, which I did. Okay. So Revelation 3 and 8 again, it says, and it shall go out to deceive the nations via what? Telling them that they need to talk things out in diplomatic discussions using the forked tongue. Okay? Using the forked tongue. All right? Let's get something real quick. Oh, man, I could find it better. I'm still gonna pull it up on the screen. Bear with me. Still gonna pull it up on the screen, but I can find it a little quicker in the scriptures. All right. It's Ecclesiasticus 12. All right. This is Ecclesiasticus 12 and 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly in his lips, but in his heart imagine how to overthrow thee into a pit. Now, when you go into that word pit, it means grave. It means hell. Okay? That's what it means. All right? So death. All right? He will weep with his eyes, just like Esau did with Isaac. All right? He cried so bitterly, give me a blessing. That's what Esau does. He pouts until he gets what he wants. All right? But if he find opportunity, meaning if there's a loophole somewhere, he will not be satisfied with blood. He's going to take advantage of it and kill you. All right? He's going to take advantage and kill you. That's when you go back in the book of Genesis and Jacob's mother saw that Esau was trying to find opportunity to smite him, and she told Jacob, get the hell up out of here, man. All right, she saw that, she sniffed that opportunity out, and that's why Jacob got the hell out. So Esau will not be satisfied with his blood. Okay? All right. So go back to Revelation 20 and 9. And they, Salakia, Revelation 20 and 8, and shall go out to deceive the nations. That's right. Shall go out to deceive the nations. Let's get some. We'll hold that. All right. It says, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. Okay. Gog and Magog to gather together to battle. Okay. It says the number of whom is in the sand of the seas. All right. So this is Ezekiel chapter 38 and 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, and the prince of Meshach and Tubal. We understand who that's talking about. Okay. And prophesy against him. Right here is a prophesy against America and Magog. Okay. Or Russia, America and Russia. And say, thou sayest the Lord, behold, I am against thee, God, O Gog, and the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. Why is he against him? Let's continue reading into Revelation 9. All right. It said, Revelation 8, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, gathering them together to the battle, the number of whom is at the sand of the seas. Those are the Israelites. Okay, so Russia is going to be deceived to go out and fight the Israelites. Okay, that's why the eyes of the Lord are against Gog and Magog. All right, verse 4, Ezekiel 38 and 4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with buckler and shields, all of them handling swords, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. All right. So he's going to have all his goonies with him too. Okay. To go against the number of the sand of the sea. All right. But they will prevail not. All right. This is Revelation chapter 12 and 7. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against the angels. Okay, let's get a preset. All right, let's go to Daniel chapter 12 and 1. Okay, because we understand when we read right here that Michael is going to stand up and fight. It's the same thing that said in Daniel 12 and 1. It says, at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. Of who? Who people? Of whose people? Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai's people. Of who is that people? Let's get it. Okay? Let's go ahead and get it real quick. All right, this is Ecclesiasticus 24 and 1. Wisdom shall praise her herself and shall glory in the midst of her people. All right, there it goes. It's mentioning her people. We're going to find out what her people is. Okay, and the congregation of the Most High shall she open her mouth and triumph before his power. Now, this is the wisdom is speaking about, Salakia, the her, she, her, all that is speaking about the wisdom. That's wisdom. All right. But ultimately, this is speaking about Yahweh Shai. It says, I came out of the mouth of the Most High and covered the earth as a cloud. That's right. I came out of the mouth of the Most High. The Most High commanded it and created Yahweh Shai, the first begotten, and covered the earth as a cloud. When you go back to Genesis, the first chapter, as the powers pretty much hovered over the hovered over the waters. All right. Verse 4, I dwelt in high places, and my throne is in the cloudy pillars, is a chariot. All right. I alone compassed the circuit of heaven, again going back to Genesis, the first chapter, and walked in the bottom of the deep. Okay. And the waves of the sea and all the in all the earth and in every people and nation, I got a possession. In the waves of the sea and all the earth and of every people, I got a possession. All right. Let's get something real quick. All right, and we're gonna go right back to it and get right back on topic. All right, this is Colossians chapter 1 and 15. Who is the image of the invisible power, the firstborn of every creature? That's Yahweh Shai. All right, for by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him, and he is before all things, and by him all things consist. Okay, so going back to Ecclesiasticus 24th chapter, it says, I dwell in high places, and my throne is in a cloudy pillar. I compassed the circuit of heaven and walked in the bottom of the deep. In the waves of the sea and in all the earth and in every people and nations, I got a possession because he had created everything. Yahweh Shai created everything by the order of Yahweh, according to Genesis, the second chapter. All right. Well, all these I sought rest, but who did he seek rest into? And in whose inheritance shall I abide? Rhetorical. All right. Verse 8. So the creator of all things gave me a commandment. All right, so Yahweh gave Yahweh Shai a commandment. And he that made me, all right, so we understand that this is speaking about Yahweh Shai. All right, caused my tabernacle to rest. The tabernacle means tent. All right, and said, let thy dwelling be in Jacob, the inheritance of Israel. Okay, so going back to Daniel 12 and 1, it says, and at the time shall Michael stand up. The great prince was standing before the children of thy people. The children of Israel are the people of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, no other people. And it's clearly evident going back to Ecclesiasticus 24 and 8. All right. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as was never since there was a nation, even to the same time. And at the time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found that should be found written in the book. All right. So again, Revelation 12 and 7. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, which is the system and which is the Edomites. All right. And it's that horde. Okay. When you go, we got signs on that beast with the 7 heads, that dragon. Okay. That's what it's speaking about. And the dragon fought and his angels. All right. So what? The dragon fought and his angels. So Michael and his angels, because Michael's an archangel, so he's a high-ranking general in the army of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Okay, he got this order to go fight. All right, he got this order to go stand up for the Israelites in that day. That's why we read Daniel 12:1, where it talks about that day that's going to be like no other. All right, it says the dragon fought and his angels. All right, verse 8, it says, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. Okay, that goes all the way back to Isaiah 34:4, which I'm going to get real quick. No, all right. This is Isaiah chapter 34:4. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down, as a leaf falleth from the vine, and as falling fig from the tree. Now the scripture said right here, it says that the dragon fought against his angels and prevailed not, neither was there a place found any more in heaven. Now when you click on that word heaven in Revelation, it literally means sky. All right. The word there is Uranos. All right. In the Greek, it says the vaulted expanse of the sky, all things visible in it. Okay. We can see the sky. Okay. Because we're going to see this battle going on. All right. So when the Christians say, oh, devil fought the angels in heaven, they're thinking about the third and fourth dimension. That's not what it is. The literal sky that we see today is where this fight is occurring. And this is a prophecy. All right. This has not happened yet. These Christians will say this happened and then link Isaiah 13 that Lucifer fell out of heaven. Okay. That's not the correct breakdown. This is the breakdown of Michael fighting against these F-15 jets, these SU whatever jets that the Russians have, and these Chinese jets. Okay. And those are the angels of the dragon. All right. And they will prevail not, according to Isaiah 34:4, which I'll read again, the first part. It says, and all the host of heaven shall be dissolved. Now we understand that host of heaven is not speaking about the host that Michael's going to come with to destroy these devils. All right. Because Yahweh Shem Yahushai will not lose one person, not one soldier in that day. Okay, as he destroys his place in 1 hour. He will not have one casualty. All right, the angels will not have one casualty. All right, first off, they're immortal. You can't kill them in the first place. It says all the host of heaven shall be dissolved. So all the armies of the sky, of Esau's, of the dragons, okay, of the dragons, angels will be dissolved. Okay, so going back, because even so right here, this S-300 missile, it says an air defense system is going to be dissolved. Okay, this is a part of an aerial attack. All right, and the aerial attack that we have coming is Michael standing up for us, and Michael and his host of angels fighting for us in the sky, in the literal sky. All right. So back to Revelation chapter 20 and 8, and I'm gonna go into 9, and shall go out and out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to the battle, the number of whom is in the sand of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about in the beloved city, which is Jerusalem. All right. It says compassed the camp of the saints. Now the saints are the Israelites, the 1144. And fire came down from Yahweh out of heaven and devoured them. Those are the missiles. Okay, those are the missiles. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 39:1. It says, therefore the Son of Man prophesy against Gog and say, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. All right, and I will turn thee back. So we understand this is speaking towards Russia again. And I will turn thee back and leave but the sixth part of thee, and I will cause these to come out from the north parts, and will bring thee upon the mountains of Israel, and I will smite thy bow out of thy left hand, okay, and I will cause thine arrows to fall on thy right hand, okay. He's gonna smite that bow and cause the arrow to come right back and shoot on him, which are those missiles. All right. Verse 4. Thou shalt fall upon the mountains of Israel, thou and all thy bands, according to Ezekiel the 38th chapter, and according to Revelation the 20th chapter, where it says, gather them together to the battle, the number of whom is at the sand of the seas, but they will not prevail, according to Revelation the 12th chapter. Okay, so continuing, it says, thou shalt fall upon the mountains of Israel, thou, okay, the mountains mean the government, and thou, all thy bands, the bands that were spoken of in Ezekiel the 38th chapter, his little goonies, and all the people that is with thee, I will give thee unto the ravenous birds of every sort, and to the beasts of the field to be devoured. Thou shalt fall upon the field, I have spoken it, saith the Lord, and I will send fire on Magog, which is Russia. Russia's going to get hit by the nuclear missiles too, because everybody's going to release their arsenal against everybody. All right. Just because all the nations are shooting their missiles over to America, don't mean America ain't gonna fire back. All right. It says, and among them that dwell carelessly in the isles, it says, and they shall know that I am the Lord. Okay. They shall know. They shall know who's doing this and raining this fire on them. All right. They shall know that fire came down from Yahweh out of the heavens. Okay. They should know that. Verse 10. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast of the false prophets are, all right, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. Okay? So even them false prophets, even you niggas out here claiming something else other than the true doctrine, y'all gonna burn, okay, by these nuclear ICBM missiles that's gonna have the spirit of the Lord on them. Okay, that ain't gonna break rank, which I'm just gonna go ahead and get since we're speaking about the missiles. This is Joel chapter 2. And 7. It says, they shall run like, I'm gonna get to the point. Joel 2 and 7. They shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the walls like men of war, and they shall march everyone on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path, and when they fall upon a sword, they shall not be wounded. Meaning these missiles, they gonna hit their targets, man. They gonna hit their targets. They ain't gonna be running into each other all discombobulated. Boom, all in order, because it's gonna have the spirit of the Lord on them, man. Okay, it's gonna have the spirit on the Lord on them, and that's what you false prophets are gonna get, according false prophets spoken about in Jeremiah the 23rd chapter as well. It says, and the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone. Who's that devil? Who's that damn devil, man? Okay, let's get it. Let's see. Yeah, shoot, I was right here. It says, and the dragon was cast out, that old serpent, which goes back to that spirit in the book of Genesis, called the devil, which we know the devil was a so-called white man, so we know that old serpent back in Genesis was of an Edomite spirit in Satan. We understand that Satan is in cahoots with the devil, who is a so-called white man, who is the Edomite, who is all the way back there and had Satan on him in the book of Genesis. Okay? Because it was an actual man who came up to Eve and deceived her, all right, which deceived the whole world all the way back to the book of Genesis. He was cast out in the earth, and his angels were cast out with him, okay? And his angels were cast out with him, okay? So it says, that's the devil that's going to get cast into the lake of fire, all right, where the beast and the false prophets are, all right, that beast system, okay? When you read about it in Revelation, the 17th chapter, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. Let's go to verse 14. All right. It says, and the death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. All right. So that's a cut to whoever believes that there's a hell underneath the earth. How can you cast hell into hell? It don't make no damn sense. Okay. So they're gonna be cast into this lake of fire. All right. And whoever is not written in that book, all right, which we read about, if I'm not mistaken. We read about that. Let's see. Salaki, bear with me. It's all good. But we did read about that. All right. Those who were not found in that book. I'm going to read it, verse 12. And I saw the dead, and small and great, stand before the Most High, and the books were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the book according to their works. All right. And every man who ain't in that book, I think we read it in Daniel chapter 1, 12 and 1. Yeah, that's right. It says, and at that time, that people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found and written in that book. And Edomites are not found written in that book. Not one Edomite will be saved. Okay, if they do live through the nuclear fire, they're just going to go into slavery. That's it. No Edomite is to be saved. A poor, not an Edomite. Okay? I mean, Salakia, you're not supposed to, you're supposed to forsake Edomites. Salakia, slip of the tongue. Okay? Slip of the tongue. That scripture is abhor not a Syrian. Okay? When you go into it and get the full breakdown of it. All right? So, I just wanted to get that lesson. The Lord willing was edifying. That Russia making moves over there, but they're being deceived to make these moves. Okay? So I want to give all glory, honor, and praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem B'chakodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. It's brother Chaashaqahla with another lesson. Lord willing is edifying. Until next time, I'm going to say shalom.